This is Kelly Langella. She's 8 years old, a third grader in school, and she's a music video producer. Kelly created this video using a program from Electronic Arts called Video Jam. With it, you pick music, background, actors, props, and special effects, and you can create your own music video. This is just one tiny example of how computers are changing the way we relate to music. Today, we'll take a look at the growing field of interactive music on this edition of the Computer Chronicles.
Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by Hewlett-Packard, working with industry leaders to ensure compatibility across the board and across the network. HP PCs, you're looking at partnership in a whole new light.
Additional funding provided by Intel, makers of the Intel Pentium processor. And by Progress Software, client-server development tools for enterprise-class information systems.
Welcome to the Computer Chronicles. I'm Stewart Cheifet. With me today is Frederick Paul, Editor-in-Chief of Electronic Entertainment Magazine. We're talking, Fred, about interactive music, and they don't sell records in record stores anymore. Music isn't just like sitting back and listening to somebody else's stuff anymore. You can sort of get into it now. You have two new examples to show us here of interactive music toys, I guess. One is called Sound Toy, one's called VidGrid. Why don't you show us Sound Toy first, Fred?
Well, this is Sound Toy. This will be out on Mac and Windows any day now. And basically what this is a series of colored squares that plays a rhythm track. And as you move the cursor over the various squares, you get noises, harmonica noises mixed in with the track right in time with the background. Become a little blues musician.
That's weird. Sound Toy. Okay, let's take a look at VidGrid.
VidGrid is a video game, a music video, basically a jigsaw puzzle.
Moving jigsaw puzzle.
Moving jigsaw puzzle. And we'll try it here. This is Peter Gabriel's Sledgehammer playing along. We're sort of starting in the middle, and we need to assemble it into a regular video here. Well, there's the little eyes.
So this is a collection of rock videos, and you just have to put the pieces in the right place.
That's basically it.
They get harder as you go, I take it?
They get much harder.
So this is like
looks like a nose maybe there.
Trouble with a Peter Gabriel video, it may be that way in the first place.
Well, after a while you start to figure it out. We're getting close here. And I think, bingo.
All right, well done. Okay, VidGrid and Sound Toy, neat toys. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, today we're going to look at this whole new genre of interactive music, from Bob Dylan on a CD-ROM to you on your own PC. Lots of pop musicians, from Prince to Peter Gabriel to David Bowie, are jumping into the new interactive music field. One musician who's always been identified with the computer scene is Todd Rundgren. We're going to start today with a visit to Todd's studio and to look at his new interactive CD, No World Order.
When Todd Rundgren began his professional music career, he was equally at home with music and electronics. Today, after 30 years as a musician, performer, and producer, Todd has turned to the CD-ROM as the vehicle for a new kind of technology he calls interactive music. His new interactive CD is called No World Order, and it features a series of menus that control the tempo, mood, and style of the music even as it plays. While there are over 1,000 4- to 8-second musical events to manipulate, listeners don't need to understand mixing to create their own versions.
Instead, we give them sort of a broad subjective control over the listening experience, and then sort of artificial intelligence in the program goes out and finds the most appropriate piece of music and then essentially butts it up against the last one so there are no gaps in between.
Owners of No World Order can be as active or passive as they choose. A standard mix is provided as a starting point, and the music will keep playing by itself like an audio CD. There are also familiar CD audio controls on the screen. More active users can customize the songs to suit their mood or purpose. For example, there is a sparse mix, which highlights the vocals, an all-instrumental karaoke mix, and an hour of dance tempo music for parties. It might seem that the artist's originality is threatened, but Todd doesn't see that as a problem.
It's not so much a question of originality being lost as much as the experience becoming abstract in a way, less enjoyable. And in that sense, what we strive to do is to maintain the artist's agenda. In other words, the artist doesn't want to cease to move people with what they do musically, but at the same time recognize that people repurpose music for other things.
No World Order is just the first step in what Todd sees as a revolution in the way music is experienced and distributed. Ultimately, he believes that online music databases will break apart the narrow channels of commercial distribution.
There's a lot of music being made, and there are a few outlets to expose it through. In any particular town, there are a couple radio stations that play any certain format. In all likelihood, they're playing from a list of 30 to 40 songs that they just play over and over and over again. So all this music is being made that people never get to hear. The idea, for me, the most appealing aspect of interactive music is when we take it online and we offer people huge databases of music and sound that they can browse through and describe experiences to, and suddenly discover music that they have never heard before.
For the Computer Chronicles, I'm Giles Bateman.
These days, music is not only an oral medium, but a visual medium, thanks to music videos and MTV. So we're going to take a look at something called Gumbo Vision that lets you create visual images to go along with your music. Here to show it to us is John Halloran of Troon. John, this really is interactive music. You have to do something while you listen to the music, right?
Exactly.
All right, show us how you use Gumbo Vision here.
Okay, well, this is a title called William Orbit. And basically, it's a combination of William Orbit's music videos along with our software, which is called Gumbo Vision. And the idea is that you use his music videos to paint pictures as the music plays along. You really do have to, like you say, you really have to do something otherwise.
So what you have around there is different tool sets, basically, I can use to mess around with the video?
Exactly. The inspiration was that, I think most of the titles that are out there these days were a lot more fun for the people who made them than they were for the people who use them.
So we get to use all the neat rock video tools.
Exactly.
Here. Go to Flavor, because that one's kind of neat.
Yeah, this one's pretty cool. These are just real-time...
So it's a strobe effect you're doing?
Exactly.
Show me some of the other ones.
We got Vapor.
He's going to vaporize the picture.
Yeah, this is Acid. Corrode, which is a good one.
So again, this is real-time stuff. This is something you do while you listen to the music. You're not just creating something to save it and play it back for somebody else.
Exactly.
This is a way of literally interactively being involved with the music while you're hearing it.
Yeah, I mean, your music is a key component to what we're trying to do here, because you're not going to music videos have not been able to be sold at retail, but here, if you put them in an interactive environment, it becomes a whole new different kind of thing.
All right, now you can also pull up any QuickTime video you have on your hard drive and do the same thing using your Gumbo Vision engine, right?
Exactly. Another title that we're doing is the 15th anniversary of IRS, and it includes titles such as The Fine Young Cannibals, which I'm sure everybody's seen on MTV. So you've seen this video a million times, but now all of a sudden you're able to kind of pull it apart, create new pictures, do all kinds of cool things to it, and it takes on a whole new life of its own.
This is kind of really like what we saw at the beginning of the program. This is a music toy in a way, right? I mean,
totally. Non-productivity software.
Right. I love it. Okay, Gumbo Vision, thanks so much.
Sure.
One neat thing about computer music is you can get inside the music and become part of it. One good example is a new program called So You Want to Be a Rock and Roll Star. Here to help us get our big break is Steve Rappaport of Interactive Records. Steve, this is really an interesting program. You can just sort of play along with it or really drill down and get some heavy-duty music lessons too, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay, start out by showing me the interface so we get an idea what it can do.
Okay, well fine. Here's your normal Macintosh Apple menu, and the unique thing about this is that we've got a built-in digital guitar tuner. So for example, if I'm tuning my real guitar, I hear the low E.
So if I wanted to play along with my guitar, I can tune my guitar so I make sure I'm matching the pitch.
The first thing you have to do is tune the guitar.
Okay. Okay.
Then we have our songs menu. The 6 songs on this CD-ROM are Crazy, Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, Midnight Hour, Runaway, Stand By Me, and Twist and Shout. There's a jukebox main menu, and of course you can quit. Now the neat thing about it is you can drop out the singer, the guitar player, or the keyboard player, and you can play that part. You can be the rock and roll star. Then each of the 6 songs has 5 displays. The animation, which has karaoke, we're at there. Interactive sheet music, music analysis, which includes theory and history, guitar lesson, and keyboard lesson. So why don't I show you a little bit. Let's say we're going to start at the first verse, and we're just going to be in browse mode. So I'll show you what that sounds like.
So we can just listen to the music to start
Right,
with, okay?
right. But if we like to sing, we can show the lyrics, and we can drop out the singer, and we have our low-rent karaoke machine.
Okay.
And let's see.
We play our background.
Right.
All right, go ahead. Be Del
A
Shannon.
love that was so strong.
All right, don't be Del.
right.
Show me the next part.
Okay, we go over to our sheet music, and we have interactive sheet music, which does 2 things that regular sheet music doesn't do. The first is that it shows you where you are.
So it highlights what bar you're on.
That's right. Second, we've got these relatively simple piano parts. And, well, I accidentally clicked on that one, so you can see what happens. It will show you how the piano part should sound, first slowly and then at real speed. Then we have our analysis section, which includes theory and history. This is a new way of looking at songs. Here we've got all of the songs of Runaway with like songs having like chords having like colors. We can click on any chord to see how it's constructed, and someone will come up and explain to us how it's constructed.
2 intervals, a major third,
And if we hear jargon that we're not familiar with, for example, the word interval, we
Yeah.
can come up here and see this is the only text in the entire program, and all of the definitions have hot buttons,
as an example of an interval of
which give you musical examples. Each of the 6 songs has its own history.
So we can actually go and look at the history of that particular song and why it was a
singer.
hit.
Right, that's correct.
1961 smash Runaway. You knew that you were hearing a master.
And it just goes on and tells you more about Del Shannon as well as about the song. Each of the 6 songs has its own music theory lesson. 43 minutes of theory lessons on the CD-ROM. This is the 3rd lesson, so you've already learned basic rock and roll.
Twist and Shout. The verse of Runaway is in the key of A minor.
So in this particular song, it lends itself to a discussion of the distinction between major and minor chords, so that's what we teach you. Now when we go to the guitar lesson, that's a different file, so instead of just saying your file is loading, we give you a music trivia question. What year did Chuck Berry, Pat Boone, and the Platters all have their first national success?
I'm glad the answer came
That's
up real
way
fast.
back there. That's
55.
1955.
The
first screen of every lesson is an overview. How does a guitar player think about playing Runaway?
Because the guitar does play solo, and because this little...
Then after the first screen, we show you how to play each chord in the song.
This A minor chord is the...
There's about 2 minutes of discussion of each chord.
Well, it shows you actually the fingering of each of those chords.
Right, and more than that, it shows you how it should work in real time. So in fact, let me start it, let me cue it here so we'll see a little bit more action more quickly.
So we'll actually watch the fingering. Wow.
Right. And when you get to be really good, drop out the guitar player and still mimic what you see on screen, but no guitar. You be the rock and roll star.
Wow. All right. So you want to be a rock and roll star. Pretty cool.
Thanks.
Okay, now it is one thing to sing along or play along with computer music. What if the computer could actually follow you? Well, it can with a new music program called Vivace. We went to Blaine High School in Minneapolis to see how it works.
The band director at Blaine High School near Minneapolis has adopted a new assistant, one that helps keep the instruments in tune and the students in practice. The device is called Vivace, and it combines a hardware interface with a software function called Intelligent Accompaniment that listens to brass and woodwind instruments through a microphone. Vivace is an interactive system. It provides accompaniment that can be adjusted by the player to lead or to follow. The system's flexibility means that practice sessions are no longer restricted to playing along with a CD or hiring a live accompanist.
I think it's the precision that they can obtain working with a steady tempo if they need to, and if they want to be flexible with it and set the computer so that it follows them. And then the student is no longer dependent on a piano player who may learn the part a certain way and it has to go that way every time. The student can make the musical decision to speed up in a certain place or to slow down in a certain place.
The $2,000 system consists of a control unit with ports for microphone and speakers, a Mac or PC connector cable, software, and a musical synthesizer for output. Through a small microphone connected to the instrument, Vivace analyzes the digitized sound and determines the most human-like accompaniment. The degree to which the system leads or follows is preset on a scale of 0 to 100%. The system's adjustable speed and style appeal to professional musicians as well as beginners.
So if they choose on a given day to perform it in a more solemn manner, the next day in a much more bright manner, Vivace can be set to do exactly that, so they can get the essence of that at home as they practice or in their studio, so when they do go on the stage, they've been there. And after all, that's where they're evaluated, that's where their true artistic talent and interest is really evaluated.
The Vivace repertoire consists of about 1,000 brass and woodwind solos, ranging from the classics to jazz. The selections are loaded into the computer on solid-state cartridges and then customized through software settings. The player can transpose pitch and key, customize settings, and select which instruments will play accompaniment.
What distinguishes artists is their interpretation of music. And Vivace allows you to interpret music any way you choose and to experiment with that so you may come up with your individual interpretation. A student who's just beginning is learning, just beginning what it's all about, and they need to have a rather rigid environment that allows them to learn from Vivace. But at the professional level, it allows all kinds of settings to totally individualize your performance.
For the Computer Chronicles, I'm Giles Bateman.
Rock and Roll Your Own is a program that not only lets you play along with the computer, but also lets you do your own arranging. The program comes from Meteor, as does Ed Batasoff. Ed, this is Werewolves of London, which is one of the 8 titles on the CD-ROM?
Right, it's like an audio CD. The only difference is it uses the iJam technology, which allows you to jam along with the song. So it's more than just listening to music. You can get in there and kind of get your fingers dirty.
Be your own musician, even if you're not a musician.
Absolutely, designed totally for non-musicians.
Show us the interface.
Basically, each screen has its own custom artwork for it, but the interface elements are all pretty much in the same place. On the left here, we have what we call the song loops. The song loops are the basic building blocks of the song. So if I click on one, I can preview it. And I hear a background intro, for example, in this case. Here we have a breakdown, which is kind of an interlude in the song. Another one is just a chorus. Now, what I'm able to do is take all of these building blocks, basically, and sequence them in any order I want. And the program makes sure I never mess up, and everything sounds good no matter what order I put it in.
No matter how stupidly you put them together, it cleans it up for you.
Absolutely. So I can just drag them down here to what we call the Songalizer, which is this device that puts them all together. And I can put several of them in here. It keeps track of them. And once they're in here, I can switch them around if I don't like what I've got. And basically, I can put as many of them as I want in here until I fill the Songalizer up, or as few as I want. And the song will just loop around here in this order that I've sequenced it in. And this is kind of the basic track. That's step one. Step two is now that I can jam along with the song. And there's a variety of features in the program that let me do that. The first one here is called the Vibatron, and all I do is just click on it, and it plays a lick. It says funky sax here, and that's what you hear. If I drag the mouse back and forth, you get 2 different licks. I can set the sound here. I can say I don't like the sax, I want to play the guitar. Now I can set it to a guitar now when I click on it. So there's a guitar that comes in. We have something called the vocalizer here, where if I press these buttons I get vocals. And I can play these vocals while the song is playing just by clicking the button.
What are those things right above the Songalizer there?
Right here we have the Show Keys button, and if I click on it, it'll show me all the keys that are available, all the licks that are available on the keyboard. So
you can actually play using the keyboard.
Absolutely, and there's a variety of licks that have been pre-recorded. If I press the keys. So each of these keys has its own assignment. And also right here, the top 2 rows of keys, these 2 instruments are assigned to those, and it's just one lick, but I can play it in different pitches.
And you can change the instruments
And I can change the instruments the same way as on the other device and say I want
make it a piano or something?
Yeah, let's put a piano in here. Now I can play
Uh-huh.
So now I've got my jam.
Put it all together, baby.
Here we go. I just hit play, and now the song starts playing in the sequence that I put in the Songalizer. There's a music video that starts playing. Each song has its own custom video. And as it's playing now, I can start hitting the keyboard, play a little sax, a little guitar, add in a little scream, play my guitar here. And when you get good with it, you kind of find the sounds you like. You can put together a song you really like. And you can record that song. We have a record feature here. It brings up this panel. You can record the song, save it to disk, play it back later, send it to your friends, annoy them with it. We also have a custom record feature here which lets you bring in a sound or record a sound into the computer's microphone, and then that sound gets assigned to the custom sound slot here, and then I can use that sound that I recorded. It could be my voice or anything else, and I can incorporate that into the song as well.
Rock and roll on your own. Pretty cool. Thanks, Ed.
Thank you.
All right, if you're a Bob Dylan fan, you know we're talking about more than just music when we talk about Dylan's work. One of the newest interactive music CD-ROMs is Dylan Highway 61 Interactive from the Graphic Zone. Here to show us a sneak preview of the program is Angela Aber. Hi, Angela.
Thanks, Stewart.
Okay, thanks for showing this to us. I know it's not done yet, and they're just little pieces of it, and you're really going to show us some of the basic building blocks that are going to be in the final product. This is what kind of a general introductory movie?
We're going to give you a little bit of ear candy and kind of set us up to walk through some of the environments that we're creating to put the user in the role of the audience to enjoy Dylan music.
Okay, get out of the movie if you would, and I want to ask you to show us some of the different kind of rooms or sections you can walk into, because it's almost an adventure game actually going in here and exploring Dylan's world on your own, isn't it?
Exactly. We have actually 12 different environments that are filled with, we've got 10 full-length songs, clips from 42 others, 4 full-length videos, lots of celebrity guests, and lots of interaction for the user. This is an exploratorium type of product where we have some beautiful 3D rendered environments. We're going to start off,
let's go to the coffee house.
Right, I started off in the coffee house here. We're going to take a look at really where a lot of that whole beat generation got started, some of the original notices here. Of course, the kitchen, and we'll head down the stairs into an environment where in the finished product you'll be hearing a lot of the 60s type of music.
And there'll be people here and poets really populating this coffee house.
Matter of fact, Allen Ginsberg. This jukebox will not only play some rare recordings, but this is kind of our vehicle to go through the decades. In addition, after he was discovered in the coffee house, Dylan started recording with Columbia, who he's been with for 32 years.
So we can actually go into the studio.
We're going to enter the studio. We have never before heard outtakes from the recording of Like a Rolling Stone, the first 5 takes. We have all of the original band members blue screened in.
So we'll see them. We'll be able to click on the musicians, hear what they have to say.
And we'll be able to play with the instruments, hear the producer
Angela, watch
screaming,
your hands so you don't get in the way of the cameras.
Screaming whether or not he liked the recording or not. Later on in his career, actually just a few years ago, there was a very exclusive performance at a New York supper club that we're going to go to. There were quite a few celebrities there, and in this area you have the opportunity to see some previously unreleased videos. We have a lot of pictures of Dylan in here. We actually even have a little art gallery in here that has Dylan's artwork.
The gorgeous pictures, kind of combination of mist and dune and music on top of it.
Well, that's what Graphic Zone is known for, and so we did the same thing with this product as we did with
Real
Prince.
quick, show me that one other place, the backstage.
Backstage 30th was quite exciting. This was at Madison Square Gardens. You will hear the roar of the crowd here, and if you like, you can navigate backstage and visit with a lot of the celebrities who joined Bob at that point in time, and we're going to go back there right now. And these were people like Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam.
So we can actually walk on these different doors, meet these different artists that were working with Dylan
So
at the
this is where Eddie Vedder was, and in this environment, Eddie's going to be sitting there, and he will come up in this mirror and tell you why Bob was important to him. So we're trying to reach a lot of different generations with a product.
And again, these are just the environments. This is not the finished product. There's going to be people and things and music and talk and all that stuff.
And lots of interactivity and fun. And
it's kind of an interactive rockumentary, so do it yourself and explore on your own.
Exploratorium rockumentary with an audio track also of House of the Rising Sun that Dylan did electric, and he also wrote that song.
Okay,
so
the
special
Dylan CD coming out soon. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
All right, that's our look at interactive music. Remember, if you have any questions about about anything you've seen on today's show. If you'd like to suggest topics for future programs, talk to us online in the Computers on Television forum on CompuServe. The command is Go Chronicles. Thanks for joining us. I'm Stewart Cheifet. See you here next time on the Computer Chronicles.
Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by Hewlett Packard, developing technology that lets you manage your PC from anywhere on the network, anywhere in the world. HP PCs, you're taking a close look at remote management.
Additional funding provided by Intel, makers of the Intel Pentium processor. And by Progress Software, client-server development tools for enterprise-class information systems.
Video cassette copies of this program are available. Computer Chronicles also publishes a companion newsletter containing details on products demonstrated and information on program topics. To order a video cassette or a newsletter, call 1-800-800-9520 or write Computer Chronicles. Please specify program subject for tapes. All orders include a free software program for auditing software use and information on the definitive guide to keeping your organization's software legal.